Welcome aboard Tristan and Tommy's Runaway Railway. For your safety, please remain seated and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Please Remain Seated, a theme park podcast hosted by two theme park enthusiasts that work for the industry in Orlando, Florida. We got some big news today coming out of Tokyo Disneyland as well as Disneyland, California. Some potential news about Dinoland here in Animal Kingdom. Also got a lot of Six Flags announcements, Universal updating one of their roller coasters, as well as information about the team member previews that happened for HHN last night. We are recording this the day after team member previews and the day before official opening night for HHN, by the way. Well, by the time this comes out, HHN will have already started. And then Tristan's got some TRISTory for us. Tristan, how are you doing?
You know, I have been better, my lad, and I'll tell our large audience what I just told you. My AC is not working in my house. It's 88 degrees in my house. So I'm sitting here dying, but my shirt is wet with sweat and I haven't moved. But it's Halloween, baby. You notice I got my orange lights for our YouTube audience. I got the orange lights behind me. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be September 3rd.
Why haven't I made my lights different colors?
Come on, do
What's
the
wrong with it?
orange.
Gotta do the orange, baby.
So I have been decorating my room today. So when September 1st, which is tomorrow at the time of recording this, rolls around, it'll be Halloween.
Yeah.
In 95-degree Florida. So
Heck yeah.
Other than that, man, some pretty good news has come out lately, Tommy.
Yeah.
And I am actually going to lead us off
Heck yes.
in that today. Tokyo, my guy, Tokyo. Tokyo Disney Seas Fantasy Springs. New park expansion. I don't believe it's its own gate. I think it's an expansion to Disney Sea. But $2.1 billion project going on over there. That is translated to US dollars.
Insane.
So we have some details about the lands coming to Fantasy Springs. That's going to be Frozen Kingdom, Rapunzel's Forest, Peter Pan's Neverland, and then the Fantasy Springs Hotel. So quite an expansion, more than just a little land expansion. We're getting 3 lands and a hotel.
Wow.
I mean, name the last time Disney World in Florida saw an expansion of that magnitude. You know, three lands in a park and a hotel.
An expansion.
Yeah.
I can't think of that.
Exactly. So it's exciting stuff for them over there. We'll start with Frozen Kingdom. Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey is the attraction that's going over there. From what I've heard, it's Frozen Ever After.
Okay.
It's basically the same thing from what I heard, and that was a while ago when I heard that. But it is a boat ride, Frozen boat ride. Then you got the Royal Banquet of Arendelle, which I believe is a sit-down restaurant.
Okay.
And Oaken's OK Foods, which is I think that's more of a window style quick service type of thing. Right. So right off the bat, you got a ride, a restaurant, and a quick service coming at you in Frozen Kingdom. Beautiful. Rapunzel's Forest. We got Rapunzel's Lantern Festival. I believe that's also a boat ride. Self-explanatory. Anyone who's seen Tangled, you know what that ride is gonna pretty much be. With the lanterns and they're in the water singing the song or whatever. You got the Snuggly Duckling. It's going to be a place. If anyone knows anything about me, I love when they take something that has some sort of a practical value and they actually utilize it for that practical value. In this case, turning the Snuggly Duckling into an actual food and beverage location, I think is really fun. Whereas, you know, you can take another example of something that should have had here's an example. Al's Toy Barn. How cool would it have been if Toy Story Land or somewhere in Hollywood Studios had an Al's Toy Barn that was actually a merchandise location?
Yeah, that would be cool.
See what I'm saying? You know, but they don't have that. They didn't utilize that practical value that they have there. Anyway, they're doing that with the Snuggly Duckling, and I love that. Peter Pan's Neverland. Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure. I don't think that's a boat ride. I don't remember what type of ride that is. Maybe it's just a carbon copy of Peter Pan's Flight for all I know. I don't know. But that's the attraction going to Peter Pan's Neverland. You're going to have Fairy Tinkerbell. I think this is what it's called. Fairy Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies. Fairy Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies. Yeah. That's at least what I typed in here.
Omnimover trackless ride, or
it might be an Omnimover. I really have no idea. You know, I don't do my research for this.
No. Yeah.
go listen to another
I'd,
Disney news show. I don't care.
yeah, me too. Yeah,
And then we got Lookout Cookout, which is their food and beverage location, quick service, I believe, food and beverage location going over there. And then, okay, here's the exciting thing in my mind: the Fantasy Springs Hotel. That's a 475 room hotel going over there.
wow.
I believe it's 475 regular rooms, and then something like, I don't know, a few dozen suites or chateaus, I think they're called over there, but bigger, style rooms. Go into that hotel. It's going to have the Fantasy Springs restaurant, which is a buffet style restaurant. I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but La Libulul. Maybe the L's are Y's. I don't really know, but that's a table service restaurant that's going to be there in the Fantasy Springs Hotel. And then the Grand Paradise Lounge, which is a lounge, a bar, probably
Beautiful.
with some snack size foods over there.
Nice.
So that's what's going on over Tokyo. Doesn't that sound exciting?
That is a lot going on over there. I'm very excited. And I mean, Tokyo Disney Sea in general is like a bucket list park for me. By the time I can afford to go over there, maybe all that will be done. So that's great. Like I've already been wanting to go over there. So just give me more reasons.
It's so hot in my room right now. My laptop is already overheating.
Jesus.
Like the fans have already kicked on.
Oh my God. Hopefully we can get through this.
6 minutes into this. All right. So did you know that over there in California, they're doing some exciting stuff with the Haunted Mansion, Tommy?
I don't. Fill me in.
Yeah, right. Well, right after that movie came out, The Haunted Mansion came out a little bit ago to some fanfare, not much. I haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
But they are updating the queue over there at the Haunted Mansion. It's going to be more of, I believe, a Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion style queue, a lot more interactive things going into it, which, I remember when they put the new queue into the Magic Kingdom's Haunted Mansion, that was very exciting. It's hard to think about what the queue would have been like before that, other than just switchbacks, Yeah. So they're doing that over there, which is exciting. I'm not sure if many of the props and things will be similar to Magic Kingdoms or not, but it is going to be a queue expansion, reimagining.
Awesome. That's good.
And then they're putting a store at the exit too. I believe it's going to be a freestanding structure. I don't think it's going to be built into the Haunted Mansion itself, similar to Memento Mori at Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
It's going to be
more off to the side, or
off to the side once you exit. And it's just going to be a Haunted Mansion merchandise location over there. That's really it. It's hard to believe it took this long for them to do that.
Yeah, especially getting a merch cart over there, or store, whatever. I'm very surprised they didn't somehow build it more closer into the exit at the Magic Kingdom or even at Disneyland. Granted, I wouldn't know the logistics of doing all that, but
I don't know either, man. I can tell you that the store at Magic Kingdom is so small, though. I feel like you can only fit like 10 people in there.
Yeah, sometimes there's a line to go in there, and they have to. It's crazy.
But we also live in a world where any piece of merchandise that exists at a ride or at a hotel, you can just find at any of the main gift shops of the parks. So
yeah, that's true.
There's never exclusive merchandise anymore. It just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Animals.
So it's been reported that the last few weeks that Imagineers have been wandering around Dinoland. And of course, we got D23 coming up in a couple weeks. So there's a lot of speculation as to there being a big Dinoland announcement. And according to Braden, and let me actually backtrack to last year, of course, at last D23, they announced blue sky concepts for maybe doing a Moana Zootopia type of land in Dinoland, which a lot of mixed reactions were received to that. Some people saying Moana doesn't belong in Animal Kingdom, and they're already building this thing in Epcot. Why are they putting Moana there? To which I would say, you got a Buzz Lightyear ride at Magic Kingdom and a whole Toy Story land at Hollywood Studios, and I've never seen anyone complain about that. But anyway, literally no one's ever complained about that, but they put Moana in two different parks, and it's like, anywho, Zootopia, which I think there are some people that go, oh yeah, Zootopia has animals and it's the Animal Kingdom. That makes sense. Then you have the Disney park purists that are like, no, Zootopia is a human story with animals as proxies for humans. It has nothing to do with animals, their nature, or their whatever to nature. Going back to Joe Rohde, I don't have an exact quote from Joe Rohde, but he's been asked a million times, and he's like, no, Zootopia does not belong in Animal Kingdom. But then he quit, so Josh D'Amaro said, bet. let's do Zootopia. But anyways, Braden from Mickey Views, I really like his YouTube channel. Like I like his reporting on Disney News, and according to him, he has sources that say there's disagreements between Imagineering and execs about what IP to put in that land. Tristan, what do you think about Dinoland? What do you think should go there? Or do you have any thoughts about what they've teased or anything?
I think all of the things that have been teased, these whole blue sky idea type statements that we've gotten or hints that they've given are exciting and would be better than what is currently there. I don't like Dinoland. I don't like Dinoland.
No, that's
People
fair.
know it.
What
I've
about Dinosaur?
Dinosaur is a good ride.
Yeah. What if
that can stay?
Yeah, what if they just like kind of kept that pathway with Restaurantosaurus and Dinosaur, and then just like where Chester and Hester's Dinorama in the Boneyard, fix that up.
Fix that. You can even still call Restaurantosaurus and Dinosaur Dinoland for all I care. Just make it just a tiny land called Dinoland, and then turn whatever else is next to it, like you just said, Chester and Hester's, into anything else, stroller parking for all I care.
I mean, they already replaced Primeval World with a stroller parking, so
True. Good riddance. No, that's just me being snotty about it. Zootopia, I personally think Zootopia would be fun to put in there. I like Zootopia. It's a fun movie. I'm sure they could do something cool with that. Yeah. I think it is an animal story. That might be the theme of the movie, is that it's a metaphor for human activity.
That's more of a buddy cop movie.
Even that, yeah, and that's fine by me. But like, I still think that in the Disney realm of things, we wouldn't buy into something so literally as to say, well, this is a metaphor for humans. We can't make it about animals, and not put it in Animal Kingdom. The characters are all animals. Of course it would belong in Animal Kingdom.
No, for sure. Like, and honestly, the average person would not care about that. It's like the very few, the few Disney park nerds that would feel the way that like Joe Rohde would. Respectfully.
I like Joe Rohde. I got nothing against Joe Rohde. He's done magnificent things for the park. But nah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Honestly, as long as whatever they do is good, I don't really care. Because I mean, like, I feel like in general, the last, decade or so, Disney has like kind of taken away like some of the stories of each park to put in more IP, but like a lot of what they've done has been really good. Like some people said Guardians doesn't belong in Epcot, but they did give it an Epcot story, and it's the best roller coaster at Disney World, and it's an amazing ride. Some people were trying to claim that Pandora didn't belong in Animal Kingdom, but literally that might be the best ride in Disney World, arguably, like top 5 easy. Rise of the Resistance. I mean, well, anywho, point is, as long as whatever replaces it is really good, I don't totally care. I'm totally on board with Moana. Like especially if they do like that boat ride that was like kind of in the blue sky artwork, I think that'd be really cool. But we'll just have to wait and see till maybe D23. Who knows? Moving on from Disney, we got a lot of Six Flags announcements. They just announced a whole bunch of things. I'll just announce some of the highlights. Over at Six Flags Great Adventure, New Jersey, they are getting the first of its kind in North America Vekoma Super Boomerang. So we've already got announcements for 2 family Vekoma boomerangs next year. And if you're not familiar with the old Vekoma boomerangs, it's literally just like the going back up a chain lift and going through a cobra roll, a loop, and then doing all that backwards. But these seem to have much smoother and like cooler, unique layouts. Like this one kind of launches forward a little bit, then backward a little bit, then forward into like a 0G stall, and then goes through a dive loop and a 0G roll. Like it looks really cool. So that's a cool thing. Launches at 59 miles an hour. Over at Six Flags over Georgia, they are getting an Intamin Ultra Surf Coaster, not even close to the surf coaster, not even close to the B&M surf coaster that we got here in Orlando. This one is like, it's just like a half pipe ride, but with like some airtime hills and splashing moments, and like the vehicle is like a surfboard with spinning seats on it too. So looks pretty cool and unique. Six Flags St. Louis and Great America are getting Giga Discovery. So it's that flat ride that has like, it swings back and forth, but then the thing you're sitting on spins, and these are both going to be 170 feet tall. Uh, Six Flags Great Escape is getting a Gravity Group family wooden roller coaster, which that's kind of insane. They haven't gotten anything in forever. And Six Flags Over Texas is expanding one of their long flumes to be one of the world's longest long flume rides, preserving that. Tristan, how do you feel about all the Six Flags announcements? I know that you're a big Six Flags fan. I mean, your park is getting a Giga Discovery back in Sandwich, Illinois. So, what are your thoughts?
Is that where they're doing it, Tommy?
Yeah. Six Flags Fiesta Texas is getting 3 new family rides, including one that's like People Mover-esque, probably closer to like the Trolley, Dr. Seuss one at Universal Islands of Adventure, but they're getting something like that over there, which is really cool. So,
I like Six
yeah.
Flags.
And
It's okay.
yeah, right. Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
Pretty cool that they're doing some capital investment, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Universal? What do they got?
Universal. So Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Orlando changed their track list. Now you can still access the secret menu as you do, but before they had, 5 different genres with 6 songs each. Now there's only 1 song per genre. So they went from 30 songs to 5 songs, which in a way that sounds kind of like, oh man, but at the same time, I didn't use most of the songs. And I feel like that little bit of time you have to choose your song, I think it's better to have less choices just in this context. And honestly, the songs that they do have now are pretty damn great. For classic rock / metal, Welcome to the Black Parade, My Chemical Romance. Interesting that that's being classified under classic rock / metal. Rap / hip hop, you got Humble by Kendrick Lamar. That's going to be hype. The song I'm looking forward to the most, under the country genre, is Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain, which I feel like that's more of a pop song. But for pop / disco, we got Waterloo by ABBA and Club Electronica, Darude Sandstorm. So those are your new options. I think honestly, the only one I'm going to really miss from the old menu is Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. That was the one that I always went with. Since the songs changed, I looked at the old menu. I'm like, oh man, there were a few things that I kind of missed out on. Be cool if they just added those to the secret menu or whatever. But anyways, Tristan, how do you feel about the new Rip Ride Rocket songs?
I like those kind of better because the only song I listened to when I wrote it was Kickstart My Heart, I think. And it's a good one, but like I could tell you, I would rather listen to ABBA. I would rather listen to Sandstorm. I would rather listen to Welcome to the Black Parade. Maybe Man, I Feel Like a Woman if I'm feeling funny, but that's not my jam.
Yeah, I feel
and I don't remember
like
what the
a
other
woman.
one was.
Humble by Kendrick Lamar.
I don't know that one, but
one of my friends had a theory that on the old song menu there was a Kanye West song, and he's been a bit controversial in the last couple of years, so maybe they wanted to get rid of his song, but instead of just doing that, and there might be controversy if they obviously just replaced his song, they just changed the whole menu. I don't know, but also the menu hasn't changed since the ride opened in 2009. So, but anyway, exciting stuff. Also, the day that we're recording this is the day before opening night of Halloween Horror Nights 32. And yesterday, there was the team member previews for Halloween Horror Nights. And at those team member previews, we finally got confirmation about the Megan Horde. So if nobody saw that movie, Megan had that doll or whatever came out last year, something like that. I think it's a fun movie. And there's rumors about it being a house. I think it works better as a horde, in my opinion. But the houses, I avoided spoilers on the houses, but I've seen a lot of people's rankings. Every ranking list is wildly different. There hasn't been a bad thing said about any house, and I just see various different rankings. Like, I have one friend that has The Darkest Deal as his favorite with The Last of Us at the bottom of it somehow, but then many other lists just have Last of Us like in their top 3 at least. And things like that. A lot of people have Oddfellows in the top 3, but some in the bottom half. Most people have Stranger Things, I saw in the top half of the list at least. I've heard Blood Moon Dark Offerings is going to be a sleeper hit, so I'm very much looking forward to that. My hype ranks, where did I put them? Stranger Things 4, Last of Us, Universal Monsters, Unmasked, Darkest Deal, Dueling Dragons, Dr. Oddfellows, Yeti, Blood Moon, Chucky, and The Exorcist. That is just my quick hype ranking. But after seeing people, from what I've been hearing, I'm a little bit more excited about Blood Moon. Plus, Universal's Discover Universal podcast actually has episodes that give backstories to their original houses. And honestly, the Blood Moon Dark Offerings podcast is one of my favorite ones from this year so far. They haven't done one on the Yeti yet, but they did one for Dr. Oddfellow. They did one for all the other original houses and one of the Scare Zones, Vampire 69. But anyways, tomorrow's HHN. I'm so freaking excited. And as soon as I do all the houses and figure out my rankings, I'm going to be doing them. If we do our next episode by the time I get to do all the houses, then you're just going to hear me gush about it before. And then once I finally do all the houses, I'll do my rankings. So yeah. Tristan, from what you've heard about Horror Nights, how you feeling?
I don't care. We're gonna hop on over to.
Actually, one more real thing. I think this was only confirmed within the last week, but Horror Nights this year is having Death Eaters in Diagon Alley, which Harry Potter Land has usually completely been Horror Nights free, but now it won't be. So, heck yeah, Death Eaters.
Great. Moving on over now to Las Vegas, Nevada. One of my favorite places. Whenever there's any sort of theme park news coming out of Vegas, I get kind of excited because I love going to Vegas.
Me too.
But guess what's coming to the Circus Hotel and Casino? The SpongeBob SquarePants dark ride called SpongeBob's Crazy Carnival Ride, built by Sally Dark Rides.
We love Sally Dark Rides.
I went on their website before recording this and looked at all their different dark rides, and I hadn't heard of a single one of them. But
gotta love Sally Dark Rides, baby.
They seem like
I can't name one off the top of my head, honestly. But...
Yeah, I was just saying, they seem like they do those ones like when you go to some sort of a theme park that's on a pier, and there's that haunted thing, and it's like a Haunted Mansion ripoff of a sign. There's a cart comes on this really janky track, and you just go.
Yeah, man.
It seems like that's what they do. But anyway, they've done some more high-tech ones within recent years, though. I originally criticized this attraction off of its name, SpongeBob's Crazy Carnival Ride, because I was like, you can't just name something blank ride. But then I remembered that the Great Movie Ride was just called
the Great
Movie Ride. So
no.
I'm torn on that. However, the theme of the ride will be Mr. Krabs is inviting riders to try their luck on several Carnival Midway games. I don't know why, while his arch rival Plankton plots to steal the formula of the Krabby Patty. It's funny. They had half of an original plot. Almost there. And then they were like, and then Plankton's trying to steal the Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that has to do with a carnival, but that is the theme of the
they're
ride.
distracted. Maybe he wants to steal the formula while the gang is distracted by the carnival.
I don't know. I don't know where this carnival is. I don't know why the formula of the Krabby Patty is physically near it somehow. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yep. Might be.
The plot will be interesting. Maybe I'll ride it whenever it opens. I don't know if they have a timeline for it here. Oh, winter this year. What do you know?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So if I go there next year, I usually go in August. Yeah, I'll get to ride.
Right.
Says it's going to cost about $6 million. That takes us out of our news for today.
Yeah. Pretty brief news day.
Speaking of briefs, I'm in my underwear.
Oh yeah, because you have no AC and you're sweating a lot.
Well, then we will hop on into our theme park TRISTory. So we're going to do the Walt Disney Studios on this episode. In our previous TRISTory, we covered Walt Studios prior to opening the current Walt Disney Studios in Burbank. But in this episode, we'll be talking about the history of the still functioning corporate headquarters and studios that Walt opened in 1940. Walt used the profits from 1937's Snow White to finance the studio, which opened on February 23rd, 1940. The studios were remodeled in 1986 when the company was restructured, and the administrative offices were added, with the Team Disney Administrative Building, now called the Michael Eisner Building, added in 1990, and the Riverside Building, ABC's headquarters, in 2000. Marvel Studios moved into the Frank G. Wells Building in 2013. Just to give a very brief overview of the different restructuring that went on there at the studios. The Michael D. Eisner Building houses Bob Iger's office, and its facade features the Seven Dwarfs holding up the roof. You've probably seen pictures of it. It's kind of a triangular roof. The Seven Dwarfs are holding up the roof there. The building was designed by Michael Graves, who, in addition to designing many iconic buildings in cities around the country, designed the Swan and Dolphin Resorts at Walt Disney World and the Hotel New York at Disneyland Paris. Fun fact, if you ever go see the Michael Eisner Building at Burbank, it looks, I mean, you can kind of see similarities to the Swan and Dolphin, just because it was designed by the same architect. In between the Michael Eisner Building and the Frank Wells Building is the Disney Legends Plaza, featuring the plaques commemorating all the figures who have received the Disney Legends Award. In addition to Marvel Studios and the Disney Music Group, the Frank Wells Building also houses the Walt Disney Archives and one of the 3 remaining Disney multiplane cameras, the others being at the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco and at the Walt Disney Studios Park in Disneyland Paris. Highly recommend, if anyone has a chance to visit the Walt Disney Studios, whether it's through a tour through Adventures by Disney or D23, or any other way you might be able to get on there, that you go in and actually go into the Frank G. Wells Building, look at the multiplane camera. Like I said, only 3 of Disney's multiplane cameras still exist. And then the Walt Disney Archives. Outside the entrance to the archives, they have exhibits up in panes of glass that you can see. When I was there, it was one of the original Haunted Mansion animatronics. And then you can go inside to kind of a lobby. There's some tables, kind of feels like a library. There's tables in the middle and shelves lined with books and other artifacts there that you can go in and see. Very, very cool to go to the Walt Disney Archives. The Animation Building on the studio grounds once held many offices, including Walt's office and the 9 Old Men as well, their office. Now, if anyone has seen Saving Mr. Banks, that room that you see Walt in is basically the room they're talking about. He had a corner office in that building, I want to say on the 3rd floor. There is a tunnel connecting the Animation Building to the Ink and Paint Building, originally used for transporting animation cells safely away from the outdoor elements. That is a very, very brief overview of the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, going from 1940 to present day. I actually have 2 little pieces of side information to add on to it. In 1941, the studios were occupied by the U.S. Army the day after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The occupation lasted 8 months, and the Walt Disney Studios are the only Hollywood studios to have ever been under military occupation. Very strange thing to think about, but there is footage of the Army just like marching down the streets of the Walt Disney Studios. It's like a juxtaposition. Wow. Very strange. In relation to this event, the studios produced propaganda and training films for the U.S. government. One of which I still can't believe they made, but it's called something with Der Fuhrer. Der Fuhrer's Fire or Der Fuhrer's something or other. And it's got Donald Duck in it, which is just naming something after Der Fuhrer and it being a Disney film sits weird with me. Yeah. But if you want to learn more about that, great Disney history podcast, 10 times better than the one you're listening to right now. Connecting with Walt, episode 201, the Walt Disney Studios and World War II. They do a deep dive into everything that went on in that. And then the second little fun giblet is that Walt's original idea for a theme park was going to be a Mickey Mouse park, and that was going to be directly across the street from the studios in Burbank.
Ooh.
It wasn't going to have many rides, maybe a merry-go-round, smaller amusement style rides like that, but there was going to be a train circling the park. That's one thing that he had the idea for right off the bat. The city of Burbank said no. Thus, Disneyland was born in Anaheim.
Bro just wanted a train.
He just wanted a train. Come on, man. But I wasn't able to, in my brief research, find any specifics about specific attractions or anything, but many, if not all of the attractions that were there opening day and soon after at Disneyland were actually built at the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank. The big sound stages and giant rooms they had, they turned into factories in a sense, and they just built all sorts of things for the rides there at the Walt Disney Studios.
It's really crazy how Walt Disney, instead of trying to find engineers to build his rides, he just took his artists and were like, hey, learn how to engineer.
Exactly. It's
And
almost
they're
as
just
if I talked about that a couple episodes ago on this show.
right. Yeah.
But that is, like you said, that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite things
Yeah.
too. He saw that in people. He would say, you know what, you're an animator. Well, you're going to design the ride layout of Pirates of the Caribbean now, which is a
And they're like,
totally
wait,
different
what?
thing. Right. But yeah, so Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, I have been there once. It is very cool to walk around and go see. Highly recommended if you can do the tour. If you do the D23 tour, you have to be a member of D23. I believe a paying member. You can do the tour that actually takes you into Walt's office. Now I didn't get to do that, but very cool. Still functioning today. Gosh, what is that? 1940 to 2023. What is that? 83 years, right? Yeah, 83 years. You believe that? You're fixing your hair on camera. Are you listening to anything I'm saying? Talk us out, Tommy.
What about fixing cameras?
fixing hammers?
Yeah. I was listening to what you were saying, but now I forgot.
We were just talking about all the social media that you can follow us on and all the ratings and reviews you can leave for
Oh
us.
yeah, make sure to follow us on MySpace and put us in your top friends. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified on the content. Yeah, just Apple Podcast, Spotify.
Every episode I ask you to talk us out and I end up talking us out.
Hey man, no you don't.
I kind of do.
I just said everything that needed to be said, I think. So
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. You can support the show for as little as $3 a month. That's half of a Starbucks drink.
It's X now. It's not.
Oh, I do have to update that. You're right, on X. Follow
Gross.
us on X. Do you still tweet though?
I honestly disabled my Twitter account.
Oh, speaking out against the big man, huh?
I never really used it anyway, to be fair. And then just stupid stuff was happening, so I was like, you know what, I don't have time for this.
Send us money. Check out our Not Safe for Work comedy podcast, Two Useless Organisms, and pull on the yellow. Remain seated.
Safety tab. Seatbelts go right to left, right to left. Make sure to store all your personal belongings in the pouch in front of you or in your pocket.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Choo choo.
I'm going to cut it off like halfway through ride, I think.
I think you should cut it off at choo choo.
Maybe I'll just cut it off right here.